I've never been the jealous type. 15 years of marriage, 2 great kids, a solid job as operations manager at Techmark Solutions. Life was good. Sarah and I had our ups and downs like any couple, but we always worked through them. Or so I thought. The Hendersons throw these dinner parties twice a year, and they're usually pretty fun. Good food, decent wine, and a chance to catch up with people from the neighborhood and work. Sarah had been looking forward to this one all week. She'd bought a new dress, navy blue, showed off her figure. At 42, she still turned heads. I felt lucky. We arrived at 7, fashionably late. The Hendersons' place was already buzzing with conversation. I spotted Mark from accounting immediately. The guy could talk your ear off about nothing, and braced myself. But Sarah seemed excited, her eyes scanning the room. "Looking for someone?" I asked. "Just seeing who's here," she said, but her voice had this edge to it. Anticipation, maybe. Then I saw Derek Patterson walk in with his wife, Jen. Derek and I went back 3 years at Techmark. We'd worked on the Miller account together, grabbed beers after work, talked about our kids. His daughter was Jake's age. Jen was nice, quiet, artistic type. She made pottery and sold it at local markets. "Hey, Tom," Derek called out, walking over with that easy smile of his. "Good to see you, man." We shook hands. Sarah hugged Jen, but I noticed her eyes were on Derek. Just for a second. Then it was gone. The evening progressed normally. Dinner was excellent. Henderson had smoked a brisket that melted in your mouth. I was on my second beer, listening to Mark explain why his fantasy team was definitely going to win this week, when I needed to grab another drink from the kitchen. That's when I heard it. I was in the hallway just outside the kitchen door when Sarah's voice drifted out. Low, almost a whisper. "Tuesday was amazing. I can't stop thinking about it." "Me neither." Derek's voice. "When can I see it again?" "See what?" Another woman's voice. Michelle, Sarah's best friend. Sarah laughed, quiet, secretive. "My new tattoo. Got it last week. It's in a very private place." My hand froze on the doorframe. "Girl, you're terrible," Michelle said, but she was laughing too. "Does Tom know?" "He knows about the tattoo, not about where it is or who's seen it." More laughter. Derek said something I couldn't make out. Then Sarah's voice again. "Same time Tuesday? I'll text you the room number." I backed away from the door, my heart hammering. Walked straight to the bathroom, locked the door, and stood there staring at my reflection. A tattoo. In a private place. Derek had seen it. Tuesday meetings, room numbers. My wife was having an affair. The weird thing? I wasn't angry, not yet. I was cold. Calculating. My mind was already moving through options, scenarios, outcomes. I pulled out my phone and scrolled through my contacts. Rick Donovan. I'd saved his number 2 years ago when we thought someone at Techmark was embezzling. Turned out it was just bad bookkeeping, but I'd kept Rick's contact info. Private investigator, former cop. The guy was thorough. I called him from the bathroom. "Donovan." His voice was gravel. "Rick, it's Tom Vargas. We met a couple years back about that company investigation." "I remember. What do you need?" "Surveillance, my wife. I think she's having an affair." Silence for a beat. "How sure are you?" "I just overheard her talking about meeting someone at a hotel. Tuesdays. Guy's name is Derek Patterson." I gave him Derek's address, license plate, physical description. Everything I could remember. "I need photos, video if possible. I need evidence." "This isn't cheap, Tom." "I don't care what it costs. I need to know for sure." "Give me until tomorrow morning. I'll have my guy on it first thing. If she's meeting him Tuesday, we'll get everything. Thanks, Rick. I hung up and splashed cold water on my face. Looked at myself in the mirror again. 45 years old. Graying at the temples. A little soft around the middle, but I kept in decent shape. Good job, good income, good father. What the hell was she thinking? I went back to the party. Sarah was on the couch with Jen, laughing about something. Derek was across the room talking to Henderson about golf. I sat down next to my wife and put my arm around her shoulders. She leaned into me like nothing was wrong. Having fun? I asked. Mm-hmm. This is nice. We should do this more often. Yeah, I said. We should. I kissed her temple. Caught Derek watching us over Henderson's shoulder. He looked away quickly. I spent the rest of the evening playing the part. Loving husband, good friend, solid guy. Inside, I was already planning. Part 2. The evidence. I barely slept that night. Sarah curled up against me like she always did, and I lay there staring at the ceiling, running through everything I knew. We'd signed a prenup when we got married. It was my idea. I'd just started at Techmark and was being careful with my finances. My lawyer ex-girlfriend from college, Karen, had drafted it. This is pretty ironclad, she'd told me. Probably overkill, but if you want protection, this is it. Sarah had laughed when she saw it. You really think I'd cheat on you? Tom, I love you. But fine, I'll sign it. I've got nothing to hide. Section 7, Paragraph 3. In the event of adultery proven by credible evidence, the offending party forfeits all claims to alimony, marital property acquired during marriage, and primary custody of minor children. Karen had called it excessive at the time. Now it looked like a lifeline. I got up at 5 a.m., careful not to wake Sarah, and went down to my home office. Pulled out the file box where I kept all our important documents. The prenup was right there, 12 years old, both our signatures at the bottom. I scanned every page, uploaded it to 3 different cloud accounts. Then I started documenting everything. Bank statements for the last 6 months, property deeds, the kids' school records, our joint credit card statements. I went through every charge, looking for anything suspicious. There. Marriott downtown. 3 charges over the last 2 months. Always on a Tuesday. Always for one night, even though the charges were just for a few hours. $180 each time. My hands were steady as I screenshot everything. At 6:15 a.m., my phone buzzed. Email from Rick Donovan. Got your guy. Attached are preliminary photos from this morning. Your wife left your house at 6:02 a.m. Drove to 24-hour gym on Riverside. Derek Patterson arrived at 6:18 a.m. Both entered together. Exited at 7:30 a.m. More surveillance scheduled for Tuesday. The photos were clear. Sarah's car in the gym parking lot. Derek's truck 3 spaces over. Both of them walking in separately, 5 minutes apart. Walking out together, her hand briefly touching his arm as they talked by her car. The gym. They were meeting at the gym. I'd thought she was getting up early to work out. She'd started that routine 3 months ago. I need to take care of myself, she'd said. I'm not getting any younger. I'd encouraged her. Told her how proud I was. Jesus Christ. I forwarded everything to my personal email, then a backup account Sarah didn't know about. Printed copies and locked them in my office safe. Sarah came downstairs at 7, already dressed for work. She worked part-time as a receptionist at a dental office. Easy hours, decent pay, gave her flexibility with the kids. You're up early, she said, pouring coffee. Couldn't sleep. Work stuff on my mind. She kissed my cheek. You work too hard. Don't forget Emma has soccer practice at 4. I'll pick her up. You're the best. She grabbed her purse. Love you. Love you too. I watched her drive away, then called Karen. Tom Vargas. It's been years, she said. How are you? Not great. I need a lawyer. Divorce lawyer. The prenup you drafted for me? I'm going to need it. Silence. Then, oh, Tom, I'm sorry. What happened? I told her everything. The party, the whispered conversation, the gym photos, the hotel charges. Do you have hard evidence of the affair itself? Working on it. PI is tailing her Tuesday. Good. With that prenup, if you can prove adultery, she walks away with almost nothing. But Tom, you need to be smart about this. Don't confront her yet. Don't tip your hand. Get the evidence first, then we move. I know. I need a recommendation for a shark. Someone who will fight for me. Patricia Reeves. She's expensive, but she's worth every penny. I'll send you her contact info. Tell her I referred you. Thanks, Karen. Tom? I'm sorry this is happening, but you're going to be okay. We'll make sure of it. Part 3. The Investigation. Tuesday morning arrived. I'd called in sick to work, first time in 3 years. Sarah thought I had a stomach bug. Do you need me to stay home? She asked, but I could see the panic in her eyes. No, I'll be fine. You go to work. I'll just rest. She hesitated. I might go to the gym after work, clear my head. Sure, whatever you need. She left at 8. I watched from the window as she drove away, then immediately called Rick. I'm on it, he said. Got a guy already positioned near her office. Another one at the Marriott downtown. If she goes there, we'll know. Call me the second you have anything. The waiting was torture. I tried to work from home answering emails, but I couldn't focus. Jake was at school. Emma had early release today. I'd pick her up at noon. The house felt too quiet. At 2:47 p.m., my phone rang. It's happening, Rick said. She left work at 2:15, drove straight to the Marriott. Derek Patterson's truck was already there. He arrived at 2:30. They met in the lobby, took the elevator up together. Room 412. My guy got photos of both of them entering. My stomach dropped. How long have they been in there? 23 minutes. Can you get photos inside the room? No, that's illegal. But I can document when they leave, timestamps, everything. This is solid, Tom. With the hotel charges on his credit card and these photos, any judge will know what's happening. Stay on it. I want everything. I hung up and sat there, staring at nothing. It was real. She was really doing this. At 5:23 p.m., Rick called back. They just left, separately. She waited 10 minutes after he left. She's heading home now. I'm sending you all the photos. They came through. Sarah walking into the hotel. Derek in the lobby. Both of them at the elevator. Timestamps on everything. Sarah leaving. Her hair slightly messed up. Wearing different earrings than she'd had on this morning. I saved everything. Sarah got home at 6:15, all smiles. Hey, honey, feeling better? Yeah, much better. How was your day? Oh, same old boring stuff. Did you pick up Emma? Yeah, she's upstairs doing homework. Sarah kissed me. I tasted mint. She'd obviously used mouthwash. I wondered if she'd showered at the hotel, washed him off before coming home to me. I'm going to start dinner, she said. I'll help. We cooked together like we had 1,000 times before. She told me about a difficult patient at the dental office. I told her about a project at work. A lie, since I hadn't actually been there. She laughed at my jokes, touched my arm when she walked past. It was all so normal, so comfortable, so completely fake. That night, she initiated sex. I couldn't do it. I made an excuse about still feeling off from being sick. She pouted but let it go. I lay awake next to her, listening to her breathe, and started planning my revenge. Part 4. Building the Case. Wednesday morning, I called Patricia Reeves. "Karen spoke highly of you," she said. "Tell me everything." I laid it all out. The prenup, the evidence, the timeline. She listened without interrupting. "This is good," she said when I finished. "Very good. The prenup is airtight. I've seen Karen's work before. With the evidence you have, we can file for divorce and she won't get a dime in alimony. Property division will favor you heavily. Custody shouldn't be an issue if you document everything correctly." What do I need to do? First, don't confront her yet. Keep gathering evidence. I want a paper trail of everything: financial records, communications, the PI reports. Second, start separating your finances. Open a new bank account she doesn't know about. Transfer your direct deposit there. Third, document everything with the kids. Who does pickups? Who helps with homework? Who attends their activities? We want to show you're the primary caregiver. She's home more than me. Doesn't matter. Who's more involved? Who do the kids rely on? I thought about it. I'd always been the one to help with homework. I coached Jake's baseball team. I never missed Emma's soccer games. Sarah was there, but she was more background. I realized. I'm the one they come to. Perfect. Document it. Photos, texts, everything. Now, when do you want to serve her? I want to do it publicly. I want everyone to know what she did. Patricia was quiet for a moment. That's risky. Could backfire. But if you're sure, I'm sure. I want to destroy her. Then let's make a plan. Over the next week, I became a man on a mission. I opened a new checking account at a different bank, called HR, and changed my direct deposit. Sarah never looked at our finances. I'd always handled that. I went through our shared credit card statements and documented every suspicious charge. More hotels, restaurants in parts of town she'd never mentioned visiting. A charge at Victoria's Secret. She hadn't bought me anything from there. I took photos of everything: the kids' rooms, their school projects on the fridge, the family calendar that showed I was the one attending all their activities. I even recorded myself helping Emma with her math homework, just as evidence. I talked to the kids' teachers. "Just checking in on how they're doing," I said. Both teachers raved about my involvement. "We never see Mrs. Vargas at conferences," Emma's teacher said. "But you're always here. It's wonderful." I printed out the emails and saved them. Rick provided weekly updates. Sarah and Derek were meeting every Tuesday like clockwork. Always the same hotel, always the same pattern. He got photos of them at restaurants, too. Her hand on his across the table, his arm around her shoulder as they walked to the parking lot. Every photo was another nail in her coffin. At work, I started paying more attention to Derek. He was careful there, professional, distant. But I noticed he'd check his phone constantly, smile at random messages, disappear for long lunches on Tuesdays. I started documenting his behavior too. Nothing obvious, just notes. Derek absent from 2 to 5 p.m. on Tuesday. Called in sick but car seen at hotel. I didn't know what I'd do with it yet, but it felt good to have ammunition. At home, Sarah was affectionate. Loving, even. She'd initiate sex more frequently. I'd make excuses or just go through the motions when I couldn't avoid it. Afterward, I'd feel sick. "Is everything okay?" she asked one night. "You seem distant." "Just work stress," I lied. "You can talk to me, you know. I'm here for you." The irony almost made me laugh. Part 5. The plan. 2 weeks in, I had everything I needed. Patricia reviewed all the evidence and declared it airtight. "You could file tomorrow and win," she said. "But you want a public confrontation?" "I do. I want everyone who matters to see what she did. Her family, our friends, everyone. Then you need a venue and witnesses." That's when the idea hit me. Our anniversary was coming up in 3 weeks. 12 years married. Usually, we'd go out to dinner, maybe take a weekend trip. This year, I'd throw a party. "A celebration," I said to Patricia. "Invite everyone we know. Make a big deal about how much I love her. Then drop the hammer." Patricia grinned. It wasn't a nice smile. "That's cold, Tom. I like it. But you'll need everyone on board. Can you trust them not to tell her?" "Most of them. I'll be selective." I started making lists. Sarah's parents, they needed to be there. My parents, my sister Linda, and her husband Mike. Our close friends, James and Kelly, Michelle, and her husband Brad. The Hendersons. People from work, carefully chosen ones who needed to know what Derek had done. And Derek and Jen. They had to be there for this to work. I called James first. We'd been best friends since college. "I need your help with something," I said. "But you can't tell anyone, especially not Kelly." "What's going on?" I told him. "Everything." He was silent for a long moment. "Jesus Christ, Tom. I'm so sorry. What do you need?" "I'm throwing a party. Anniversary celebration. I'm going to expose her there, in front of everyone. I need you to keep Kelly in the dark until the night of. And I need you to sign an affidavit as a witness afterward." "Done. Whatever you need." One by one, I brought people into the plan. James, Patricia, Rick, who agreed to have video equipment ready. My parents, my mother cried, but she was on board. "That woman," she said, "after everything you've done for her." I didn't tell Sarah's parents. They needed to see it unfold naturally. I didn't tell Michelle either. She and Sarah were too close. But I did call her husband Brad. "Are you sure?" he asked. "Michelle is going to be devastated." "I know, but she needs to know who her best friend really is." The hardest call was to Jen. I reached out via LinkedIn, asking to connect over coffee. She seemed surprised but agreed. We met at a Starbucks across town, away from anywhere we'd be recognized. "What's this about?" she asked, sitting down with her latte. I slid the folder across the table. "I'm sorry to do this to you, but you need to see these." She opened it. Her face went pale. The photos of Sarah and Derek at the hotel, timestamps, restaurant receipts, text message screenshots Rick had gotten from Derek's phone records. "How long?" she whispered. "At least 3 months, maybe longer." She was crying now, quiet tears running down her face. "I thought we were happy. I know, I'm sorry." "What are you going to do?" "I'm destroying them both, and I need your help." Part 6. The setup. The invitations went out 2 weeks before the party. Jen designed them. Turns out she was good with graphic design too. Elegant, beautiful. Join us in celebrating Tom and Sarah Vargas's 12 years of marriage. Sarah was thrilled when the first RSVPs started coming in. "You did this for me?" she asked, hugging me. "Tom, this is so sweet." "You deserve to be celebrated," I said. Not a lie. "I love you so much." "I know you do." She started shopping for a new dress, getting her hair done, planning what food we'd serve. I let her handle all of it, playing the excited husband. Meanwhile, I was preparing for war. I rented tables, chairs, a podium, hired a catering company, bought the good china from storage. Made the house look perfect. In my office, I prepared the evidence folders, one for each guest. Photos, timeline, text messages, everything printed out in neat, organized packets. I included affidavit forms for anyone willing to testify in court. Patricia reviewed everything. "This is brutal," she said. "You're sure you want to do this?" I've never been more sure of anything. I practiced my speech. What I'd say, how I'd say it. Calm, factual, devastating. No emotion, just truth. The Friday before the party, I did something I'd been planning for weeks. I went to Derek's boss, a guy named Robert Wade, who I'd worked with on projects. "Can I talk to you privately?" I asked. We went to his office. I laid out everything. The affair, the hotel meetings during work hours, the implications for the company if this became public. "Jesus, Tom, I had no idea." "I'm telling you now because I'm about to make this very public. Saturday night. And I wanted you to be aware before HR gets involved." Robert's face hardened. "Derek's a liability. I'll start the documentation process." "There's more." I showed him the expense reports. Derek had been claiming some of those hotel rooms as business expenses. "That's fraud. I'll handle it. And Tom, I'm sorry this happened to you." "Thanks." The trap was set. Part 7. The party. Saturday arrived. I got up early, set up everything while Sarah slept in. The house looked perfect. Flowers, candles, the good silverware. By the time she woke up, I was already dressed in a suit. "Tom, this is beautiful," she said, walking downstairs in her robe. "Only the best for you." She kissed me. I kissed her back, tasting the lies. The kids were excited. Jake, 16 now and way too perceptive, kept giving me strange looks. "You okay, Dad?" he asked while Sarah was getting ready. "I'm fine, buddy. Why?" "You've been weird lately. Quiet. Just work stuff. Nothing for you to worry about." He didn't look convinced, but he let it go. Guests started arriving at 6. My parents first, then Sarah's. Her mother hugged me, told me how proud she was of what a good husband I was. I smiled and thanked her. James and Kelly arrived. James caught my eye and nodded slightly. He knew. Kelly had no idea. Michelle and Brad showed up with a bottle of expensive wine. Michelle hugged Sarah, gushing about how amazing this was. "Tom is so romantic." The Hendersons, Mark from accounting, a few neighbors, everyone dressed up, bringing gifts, congratulating us. Derek and Jen arrived at 6:30. Jen looked beautiful in a red dress, her face composed but her eyes hard. Derek wore a suit, smiling that easy smile of his. "Tom, buddy," he shook my hand. "This is great. Congratulations, man." "Thanks for coming." Sarah hugged them both. I watched her face when she hugged Derek. Did it linger a second too long? Did her hand touch his back just a little differently? By 7, everyone was there. 23 people total. All of them drinking, eating, laughing. The perfect anniversary party. Sarah was glowing. She kept touching my arm, kissing my cheek, thanking everyone for coming. "I'm so lucky," she kept saying. 12 years with this amazing man." At 7:15, I clinked my glass with a fork. The room fell silent. "Can I have everyone's attention, please?" They all turned toward me. Sarah came to stand next to me, beaming. "Thank you all for coming tonight. It means the world to Sarah and me to have all our loved ones here." I put my arm around her. She leaned into me. "Marriage is built on trust, on honesty, on transparency, and I wanted to gather everyone here tonight to witness a moment of truth." Sarah looked confused. "Tom?" I stepped away from her, walked to the podium where I'd hidden a stack of folders. Because I've learned something interesting over the last few weeks. Something I think everyone here should know. The room was dead silent now. Sarah, how long have you been fucking Derek? Her face went white. Across the room, Derek stood up. Tom, what? Sit down, Derek. Jen's voice cut through the room like a knife. He knows. I know. Now everyone's about to know. I started handing out the folders. There's one for each of you. Inside, you'll find evidence of my wife's affair with Derek Patterson. Photos, hotel receipts, text messages, timeline. I've documented everything. Sarah grabbed my arm. Tom, stop, please, we need to talk about this. I pulled away. No, we're done talking. Everyone here is going to know exactly who you are. Her mother opened her folder. Made a sound like she'd been punched. Sarah's father stared at the photos, his face turning red. These are photos from the Marriott downtown, I continued. Tuesday, November 19th, 2:47 p.m. to 5:23 p.m. Derek's credit card paid in the room. Here's another Tuesday, and another. 3 months of Tuesdays, to be exact. James had his folder open. So did Kelly, who looked shocked. Michelle was crying, staring at the photos. The text messages are particularly interesting, I said. Can't stop thinking about Tuesday. The things I want to do to you. He doesn't touch me like you do. That's you, Sarah, talking to him about me. Derek tried to leave. Jen stepped in front of the door. Where do you think you're going? She said. We're not done here. Jen, I can explain. Explain what? Explain these? She held up her own folder, thrown it at his chest. I filed for divorce yesterday. My lawyer has all of this. Plus the bank record showing you emptied our savings account last month. Guess where that money went? Hotels. Gifts for her. Dinners I never knew about. Derek's face went gray. I pulled out my laptop, set it on the podium, turned it toward the room. This is the state filing system for divorce. I'm filing right now, in front of all of you, as witnesses. I typed in my information. Sarah's information. Selected the grounds, adultery. Uploaded the evidence files, hundreds of photos, documents, everything. Tom, don't do this, Sarah begged. Please, we can work this out. No, we can't. Section 7, paragraph 3 of our prenuptial agreement states that, in the event of adultery proven by evidence, the offending party forfeits all claims to alimony, marital property, and primary custody of minor children. Her face went even whiter. The prenup. Oh God. You remember it now? You laughed when you signed it, said you'd never cheat on me. I hit submit. And there it is, filed as of 7:43 p.m. My marriage is over. The room was chaos now. Sarah's mother was screaming at her. Her father looked like he wanted to hit someone. My mother was crying. Michelle had stood up and walked over to Sarah. She slapped her. Hard. The crack echoed through the room. 12 years, Michelle said, her voice shaking. I was your maid of honor. I held your hand through Emma's birth. And this is who you are? Sarah was crying, reaching for her. Michelle backed away. Everyone in this room is now a witness to these events, I said. In your folders, you'll find affidavit forms. If you're willing to testify in divorce court about what you've seen here tonight, please sign them. You can give them to my lawyer, Patricia Reeves. I gestured to Patricia, who'd been standing quietly in the corner. James stood up. I'll sign. He pulled out a pen, scrawled his signature. Others followed. My parents. Sarah's best friend Brad. Even the Hendersons. One by one they signed. Sarah's parents didn't sign. They just sat there, her mother sobbing, her father staring at the photos like he couldn't process them. That's when I heard footsteps on the stairs. Dad? Emma was standing there in her pajamas, staring at the scene. Jake appeared behind her. "What's going on?" Jake asked. The room fell silent. Everyone stared at my kids. Sarah reached toward them. "Baby, please." "You cheated on Dad?" Emma's voice was small, broken. "Emma, it's complicated. Did you cheat on him? Yes or no?" Sarah's face crumpled. "Yes, but get out." Jake's voice was cold. So much older than 16. "Pack your stuff and get out." "Jake, please, let me explain." "There's nothing to explain. You cheated. You lied. You betrayed all of us. I don't want to hear anything you have to say." Emma was crying now. She ran to me, buried her face in my chest. I held her. "Your stuff is already packed," I said to Sarah. "Boxes in the garage. You have until midnight to get them. After that, I'm changing the locks." "Tom, please, the kids." "The kids don't want to see you right now. Neither do I. You need to leave." Part 8. The Fallout. That's when Linda broke. My sister had been standing in the corner, crying quietly. Now she stepped forward. I knew. The room went silent again. I stared at her. "What?" "I knew about the affair for 3 months. Sarah told me." Everything in me went cold. "You knew." She was confused. She said it was a mistake. She was going to end it. I thought if I just waited, if I didn't make it worse. "You knew, and you said nothing." My voice was flat. "You watched me live with this woman. You watched her lie to me every single day, and you said nothing." "I was trying to protect the family." "You protected nothing," I was shouting now. "You enabled this. You chose her over me, over your own brother, over your niece and nephew." Patricia was writing furiously. She looked up at Linda. "This is excellent for the custody case. Family conspiracy to conceal infidelity from the primary guardian. Judge Morgan is going to love this." My mother turned to Linda. "Get out." "Mom, you heard me. Get out of this house, get out, and don't come back." "But now!" Linda left, sobbing. Her husband Mike followed her, looking back at me with something like pity. I turned to Derek. He'd been standing there, frozen, throughout all of this. "Your turn," I said. Monday morning, Robert Wade in HR is getting an anonymous complaint. Turns out fraternization between employees is against company policy, especially when one employee is having an affair with a colleague's spouse. "You can't." "I already did." "And those expense reports you filed? The ones claiming hotel rooms as business expenses? That's fraud. HR will be very interested in those too." His face went pale. Jen smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. "Derek's already moved out. I filed first, using all of Tom's photos as evidence. My lawyer says I'll get the house, full custody of our daughter, and most of the assets. Derek's new apartment is a shoebox in the bad part of town. You two will be very happy there together." She turned to Sarah. "Enjoy him. You've destroyed both our families for a man who was willing to throw away everything for a quick fuck. Hope it was worth it." Sarah was sobbing now, ugly crying. "Please, someone, please." "Everyone who wants to stay for dinner is welcome," I said. "The food's still good. The drinks are still cold. We're just celebrating something different now. Celebrating truth, honesty, the end of a marriage built on lies." Most people left. A few stayed. James and Kelly, Patricia, my parents. We ate in near silence. Sarah had gone upstairs. I could hear her crying through the ceiling. At 9 p.m. I heard her car starting. Loading boxes. The kids wouldn't come out of their rooms. They refused to see her. At 11:47 p.m. she sent me a text. "Please, can we talk? I'm sorry. I love you." I blocked her number. At midnight, I changed the locks. All of them. Called a locksmith I'd scheduled in advance. The guy worked fast, had it done in 40 minutes, my house, my kids, my life, and she was locked out of all of it. Part 9. The Aftermath. The next few weeks were brutal. Sarah tried everything. She showed up at the house. I called the police. She tried to talk to the kids at school. I got a restraining order. She sent emails, letters, even tried to get Michelle to intercede. Michelle wanted nothing to do with her. She lied to me for months, Michelle told me. Made me complicit in this. I feel sick every time I think about it. The divorce moved fast. With the prenup and the evidence, Sarah had no leverage. She hired a lawyer who tried to fight it, but Patricia demolished him in court. My client has irrefutable evidence of adultery, Patricia told the judge. Photos, hotel records, credit card statements, text messages, and 23 sworn affidavits from witnesses who saw the evidence firsthand. The prenuptial agreement is clear. Mrs. Vargas is entitled to nothing. Sarah's lawyer tried to argue that the prenup was signed under duress. Patricia produced the video of our wedding. Sarah laughing, making jokes about the prenup, signing it willingly. Your Honor, Patricia said, Mrs. Vargas is trying to rewrite history because she doesn't like the consequences of her choices. The judge agreed. Full custody to me. Sarah got supervised visitation every other weekend at a court-approved facility. No alimony. She kept her car and her personal belongings. I kept the house, the savings, the retirement accounts, everything we'd built together. Linda tried to apologize. Called me dozens of times, sent letters, showed up at the house. I refused to speak to her. My parents cut her off too. You chose Sarah over your own family, my mother told her. Live with that choice. The kids refused to see Linda at all. She knew Mom was cheating and didn't tell Dad, Emma said. She's a liar too. Linda's marriage fell apart 6 months later. Mike left her, said he couldn't trust someone who'd kept a secret like that. She ended up moving across the country. I haven't spoken to her since the party. Derek lost his job 3 weeks after the party. The HR investigation found the expense fraud, plus a pattern of inappropriate behavior with other female employees. Turned out Sarah wasn't his first affair. There'd been others. Jen's lawyer used that in their divorce. Jen took him for everything: the house, the retirement accounts, full custody of their daughter. Derek ended up in a studio apartment working retail at Best Buy. I saw him there once helping an elderly couple with a laptop. He saw me and turned away. Sarah had it worse. Without alimony, without the house, with only her part-time receptionist income, she couldn't afford much. She ended up in a 2-bedroom apartment in a rough neighborhood. The dental office fired her. Apparently they didn't like the scandal. She bounced between jobs, never lasting more than a few months anywhere. The kids refused to see her at first. The supervised visits were mandatory, but they'd sit there in silence, answering her questions with one-word responses. Eventually, Emma softened a bit. Jake didn't. He still won't talk to her, even now. I got promoted 4 months after the divorce. Director of Operations, the position Derek had been angling for. 20% raise, corner office, real authority. Robert Wade pulled me aside when he offered it. You handled a terrible situation with grace, he said. The company respects that. Derek's actions reflected poorly on all of us. You stepped up. This is earned. I accepted. Part 10. Moving forward. It's been a year now. The kids are doing better. Therapy helped. Emma's thriving in soccer, made varsity this year. Jake's got a girlfriend, a sweet girl named Melissa who comes over for dinner sometimes. They're both getting good grades, planning for college. They ask about Sarah occasionally. Emma sees her every other weekend now, says it's awkward but getting easier. Jake refuses. She made her choice, he says. I've made mine. I don't push him. Sarah texts me sometimes from a new number. I don't block her immediately anymore, though I rarely respond. Last month she sent, I know I ruined everything. I just want you to know I'm sorry, for whatever that's worth. I stared at that message for a long time. Thought about replying. Didn't. Some part of me will always love who I thought she was. The woman I married, the mother of my children. But that woman doesn't exist. Maybe she never did. Jen and I get coffee sometimes. Not dating. Neither of us is ready for that. But we understand each other. We both burned it all down and lived to tell the tale. You ever regret it? She asked last time we met. Going scorched earth like that? No, I said. She made her choice. I just made sure everyone knew what that choice was. Derek keeps trying to call me, begging for another chance. What do you tell him? I don't answer. He's dead to me. We clinked our coffee cups together. A toast to survival. Work is good. I'm thriving there, honestly. Turns out I'm good at this job. The team respects me. I've got plans for the department, innovations we can implement. Robert's talking about VP track. I'm not dating. A few women have expressed interest. Helen from accounting, a neighbor named Vanessa. I'm not ready. Maybe I'll never be ready. Right now, I'm focused on my kids, my career, rebuilding what Sarah burned down. I bought a new deck for the backyard, spent 3 weekends building it with Jake. He's good with his hands, careful and precise. We worked in comfortable silence, music playing from a speaker. Thanks, Dad, he said when we finished. For everything, for protecting us. That's my job, I told him. I'll always protect you, both of you. He hugged me. I held on tight. Last week, Michelle came over for dinner. She and Brad are doing well, though the whole situation shook them. I keep thinking about the signs I missed, Michelle said. All those lunch dates Sarah invited me to that she'd cancel at the last minute. The way she'd check her phone constantly. How she'd light up when it buzzed. You couldn't have known. I should have. I was her best friend. Some friend I was. She lied to everyone, Michelle. This isn't on you. We ate in silence for a minute. Are you happy? She asked suddenly. I thought about it. Really thought about it. I'm not unhappy, I said finally. I'm content. I've got my kids, my job, my house, my life. It's not the life I planned, but it's mine. And it's honest. No lies, no betrayal, no wondering if the person next to me is who they say they are. That sounds lonely. Maybe. But it's better than living a lie. She didn't argue. Sarah sent another text yesterday. Emma told me about the deck. It looks beautiful. You were always good at building things. I'm sorry I broke what we built. I think about it every day. I read it 3 times. Started to type a response. Deleted it. Put my phone away. Some things once broken can't be fixed. Some betrayals can't be forgiven. That's not bitterness talking. It's just truth. I built a life with her. 2 kids, a home, a future. She burned it down for Tuesday afternoons at a Marriott with a man who wasn't worth the destruction. Now I'm building something new. Just me and my kids and whatever comes next. No lies. No secrets. No Tuesday meetings I don't know about. It's not the life I wanted, but it's the life I have. And you know what? It's pretty damn good. Jake and Emma are downstairs watching TV. I can hear them laughing. In a few minutes, I'll go down, make popcorn, join them. We'll watch some action movie Emma picked, and Jake will complain about the bad CGI, and I'll steal popcorn from Emma's bowl just to hear her protest. Tomorrow, I've got a meeting with Robert about the VP position. Next weekend, Emma has a tournament, and I promise to bring her whole team out for pizza after. Jake's got SATs he's studying for. I hired him a tutor, the best one I could find. Life goes on. Different than before, but forward nonetheless. I don't think about Sarah much anymore. Don't wonder what she's doing or if she's happy. Don't care if Derek ever got his life together. They made their choices. I made mine. And I'd make the same ones again in a heartbeat. The house is quiet now, just the sound of my kids' laugh is downstairs. I saved the evidence folders in my office, locked in the safe. Don't need them anymore. The divorce is final, the custody settled. But I keep them anyway. A reminder that I stood up for myself. That I didn't let betrayal go unanswered. Some people might say I was cruel. That I should have handled it privately, with dignity. Those people weren't betrayed, weren't lied to. Didn't watch someone they loved destroy everything for an affair. I did what I needed to do. Protected my kids, protected my future, made sure everyone knew the truth, and I sleep just fine at night. My phone buzzes. Another text from Sarah. I don't even read it. Just delete it and turn off my phone. Downstairs, Emma calls out, "Dad, movie's starting." "Be right there," I call back. I take one last look at the life I built from the ruins of my marriage, my home, my kids, my peace. It's a good life, and it's all mine. The end.